good, YouTube? This Rage Real. So in today's video, I want to show you guys this high-powered, high-scoring offense inside of Madden 22. So if you enjoyed this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go ahead and sub and turn on post notifications. Boom. So we are actually in the Patriots playbook. Again, we are in the New England Patriots offensive playbook. Now, this is a continuation of my series, the Team and Scheme series. So this is actually part 11, I believe. It's 11 or 12, but make sure you check the title because I will have it correct in the title. So moving forward, I really love this formation with the Bears. Now you can run this obviously with other teams, but out of the remaining teams that we have left to cover on this series, I believe the Bears is the best fit for this. Now you might be wondering why. Now the reason why is because excuse me, the reason why is because the Bears actually have really fast receivers. So they have Marquise Goodwin, who has like 96 or 97 speed. Allen Robinson, he's actually a really great route runner on here. And they also have Darnell Mooney, who's actually a 90-something speed. I believe he's 91 or 92. Now you also have Damiere Byrd. So if you wanted to put Damiere Byrd here to have more speed, because Allen Robinson has 89 speed, but he has really great route running. That's why I like him on the outside. Now, if you want Damiere Byrd, who has a little bit more speed, you could put him right here in this position. Now, also, I love this offense because they have Trey and you have Justin Fields at quarterback, so you're able to move around a little bit. It's just you don't have an offensive line, but that's okay. So, plays I love, of course, you're going to see in the gameplay, PAD bout is an extremely overpowered play, which you guys already know, but I'm going to show you the different ways I love to set it up, and you're going to see that in gameplay, so don't worry. So, you have inside zone and you have halfback base, so you can establish a running game really easily. Now, you also do have RPO zone peak, which they nerfed the RPO, so it's not as good, obviously, so I wouldn't use that. But you can still do the screen glitch where you roll out your quarterback. You can still do that. And also, they have this slot cross, which is really good. Wide sail. They also have curl combo, which is good versus zone coverages. And of course, you guys know they do have flood, which that's what I'm going to be talking about really quick in this video. So let's go to flood because I want to take you through a setup that I actually really love on here. So let's actually go and get started. So let's go to dollar, and then also this is gonna be really quick also with this setup, and then we're gonna hop straight into gameplay because I want you guys to be able to see this high-powered offense in action, and you'll be able to understand exactly why I chose to use this with the Bears. So I'm gonna go ahead and sub in cover 4 drop right here. And we're gonna come out inside of cover 3. Now we're gonna go ahead and back this ball up just to show you just to back it up. Honestly, that's really why I really don't need to just for this particular scheme. But this setup that I'm about to give you actually works versus zone and man coverage. So what we're gonna do is actually take triangle. We're gonna smart route his route to get it ran a little deeper. So now notice how it's breaking off at about the I believe that's the 45 right there. So notice if we smart route it back to normal, it's at about the 43. So that little 2-yard difference does make that 2-yard smart route does make a difference. So for the setup, you want a smart route triangle, that slot right there. Now ideally you'd want to run this with your flood to the strong side. So this is why I run it. I would run it to the right hash if I wanted to do it this way, or if I was on this hash mark, then I would just simply flip the play, if that makes sense. So let's go back to this hash mark and let's actually finish the setup. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna smart route triangles route. We're gonna take X, put him on an in route, and we're gonna smart route his in route just like this. And then what we're gonna do is take this in route right here and actually motion it across. Well, excuse me, out route. We're gonna motion it to an in route. Now I really love this setup. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spot a line right here. Now I love this setup because it's basically just the backside read that we're gonna make between triangle and X. So we're gonna drift over here late, and what you're gonna be able to realize is that we're gonna have that throw right there that we can make, and that is actually such a fire setup, because what makes it fire is that we're basically going to confuse the user, because you're going to have another setup in game where we're going to motion that tight end over, and then we're going to have that slot cross setup where this guy's running the crosser. So basically the user won't really know where we're trying to attack, which is really fire. So basically essentially what we're doing is making the user have to choose between these two routes right here. So we want him to be somewhere in the middle. We want him to make a choice. So a lot of times they're actually going to follow this in route for half a second, and then they're going to come down low and bait. So a lot of times what you're going to have open is actually this throw right here. Now the only thing you got to be careful of when you call this play is versus cover 2. It's the only coverage where it's kind of iffy to run it against, but I'll go ahead and show you right here. So we're going to smart route triangles route. Take X, put him on an out route. You want to smart route his out route, and you want to motion over X. So basically, this is just a misdirection type of play. We want the opponent to think we're looking for a right side read, but in actuality, we're not. But like I said, against cover 2, I don't really like it as much. I love it versus cover 4 drop. I love it versus match coverage. I love it versus cover 3, and I love it against man coverage. It's just cover 2 is the only thing that I'm not too, I'm not excited. I wouldn't run this versus cover 2. Now versus cover 2, you actually have something interesting that happens. So with this flood, this receiver is anytime they press with zone drop, so they zone chuck, he will always take an outside release. So in the game, I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it a little bit. I actually throw a pick on this throw just from getting from the ball getting underthrown somehow. But I do want to show you that you can throw that pass, which you'll see exactly what I mean in the game. But I just want to show you that you can actually throw this pass. I have no idea why it was picked off in practice in game, but like I said, that's the only spoiler I'm going to give. You guys will see it in actual gameplay. I just want to show you real quick though. But notice how you can actually throw that out there. We can swerve and catch it. Just keep that play in mind because you'll see it happen later in game. But I just wanted to show you that you can actually make that read against cover 2. But real quick, I just want to show you cover 4 drop, and I'll show you man coverage. Then we'll be hopping right into the game. So you guys know the setup, so I'm not going to take you through it again. I just want to show you that yes, it does get open against the coverages that I was telling you guys about. So we'll roll here, and then what you'll be able to do is actually throw that ball kind of late, and you can actually get a little get a little swerve action and actually catch the ball to rack it. Now, last thing I want to show you is versus man coverage. So this is actually one of my favorite man coverage variations. Whenever they're not playing a double purple style of concept, we're going to take triangle still smart route design. And the reason I like it because triangle is normally going to beat his man. Notice how he breaks that cut, and look how much he actually gets separation. That's Marquise Goodwin, so it's not even like, he's a top tier receiver, but that's what makes his route really nice. So yes, he did get a win animation. So we're gonna watch right here. So yes, he did get a win animation, but look at him stick his foot in the ground and actually get a little speed burst. That's what you want to look for. And then also, if the user wants to take his user and shoot out here, we'd actually be able to lowball this in route right here if we didn't drift all the way too far. A lot of times you can actually still stand right here and lowball that in route. That's what makes this play really, really nice because you're just basically gonna make a 1-2 read between the users. So let's go ahead and dive right into this gameplay. So here we go, man. So we are matched up against the Ravens. Now, he actually did score his first possession of the ball, so that's why we do have the ball right here. You can tell we're setting up our personnel. So like I said again, whoever your fastest player is, you want to make sure they're in that left slot position. I can't tell you how important that is because a staple play out of this is the PA deep out play. That is a staple of this offense, and that's why you want your fastest player running that little overrated post route, because that post route is really, really money. Now, this setup right here I actually love versus man coverage. Now I don't love it against man with purples. I love it against regular stock man coverage, because if they play a man with purples, then what we'll do is actually come to this PA deep out play, and that's where you actually want your fastest player at, or your best player. Now actually don't really need to be your best because that post route is so glitchy. So notice how we flip the formation and our fastest player is still on that right side slot. So that's why I said whoever your fastest player is. So if you're playing with the Chiefs, that's where you put Tyreek Hill or something like that, or Miko would be good. And notice how he kind of gets sticky right there, and we are able to get out there with Tariq Cohen. And that's why I actually love this offense with the Bears, because they have Tariq Cohen, who has like 92 speed, and you have Justin Fields, who can run around in the pocket some. So you're able to have those big explosive plays. So you have your opponent just can't come out in any style of defense because you have the base and you have inside zone. So right here, this is a setup that I do love too. So we're gonna take that guy and motion him across, and we're gonna have basically a zig concept. Now watch square. So I only threw it because I seen his user kind of just stand there, and so regardless, we did have triangle. That's why the user fell down, because he wanted to guard that. So what's nice about that zig route is if you motion it over, it actually turns into an inside breaking zig route instead of an outside breaking, which is really, really rare, honestly, because most of them don't do that. So that's why I do love that concept. Now, this is the one I just showed you in practice mode, so you can kind of see exactly why I said I like this, whether it's man or zone. So notice how he breaks off his man, but he has a purple right there, so that told me right there he's playing man with purples. And one thing I forgot to mention is make sure you re-drag circle, because if you don't, that stock drag route actually pulls up right there, because I was expecting him to continue running, but it actually didn't. Thankfully, I did not throw a pick on that. So that's why I do love to show you guys, setups and practicing in game mode, so you can actually see like, okay, I probably should do this, I should do that with the offense. Now, I love this setup versus man coverage. So basically, all we did was motion over that out route. We're going to turn it into an in route, and we're going to make a read. And a lot of times, the user's going to have to follow that in route. And that route right there is so good that as long as your receiver is faster than that DB, you will be able to run away from him. Now, obviously, if you'd had like, I don't know, G. Alexander or something, let's just pretend, playing the Packers and they had G. Alexander guarding Marquise Goodwin, maybe, that's the only way, So anyways, right here you can tell we are back on offense, because this is actually just a high scoring game. My opponent's been scoring, I've been scoring. And right here, this is actually another one of my favorite setups, because everything on the field is going to be able to beat man coverage. And guess who? Marquise Goodwin, our fastest receiver. Averett, they're about the same speed. I believe Goodwin has them by 3. I believe Averett is 93, and I believe Goodwin is 96. But you can tell that it's basically a speed rating, And it's just that route is so good that you could actually throw it open, which is why I like Justin Fields, because he actually does have the arm strength to actually get it all the way out there. Now, he's no Patrick Mahomes, obviously, but you know, he got a little arm strength from what I can tell. But right here, you can tell this actually is another one of my favorite setups you're about to see. So this is good against zone coverages. So we're going to take X, put him on a drag, triangle on a slant, and then we're going to make it read between triangle, X, and then square late. That's how I love to read that. It's right there. I'm not sure what's going on. So you guys let me know in the comments, because every time I've been playing these games, I've been getting weirder and weirder animations as far as like broken tackles and stuff like that. So let me know if you guys are dealing with that too, because I know I am, man. But right here, like I said, I believe that was at halfback base. I actually didn't see the beginning of the play, but I believe that was halfback base. And halfback base is just a really good run play, as you guys know, and that's why I love this doubles flex, because you just have so many good options. And also, what's good about this offense too is that you have the ability to audible to different formations. So you can audible like to your trips tight end. You know, you can audible to they have like a Trey flex week, I believe it's called. It's one of those that's like trips. It's one of those that's like Trey flex, but it's not. I just forget what the offense, what the formation is. Excuse me. So third and goal. So my options here, I'm thinking of triangle or X. That's my read progression. I know this triangle is going to kind of get a little separation, but they gave him the great animation of actually getting the swat right there. Because sometimes what they'll do is they'll give you an animation where you kind of like possession catch it and you fall in the end zone. You know what I'm talking about? The one where they just kind of lay down and you know, right when you catch it. I was looking for that animation. So really, one thing also too, I noticed he was putting purples, but that purple won't be able to cover that triangle route as long as we clear all the zones out there. So that's why I was going to it. So look at it get open. Well, it really wasn't open, but really just great defense. So I just kind of had to make something out of nothing because what I should have did, honestly, I should have just put my best receiver right there, like Allen Robinson, and then actually put him right there to run that route. So that was definitely my fault. So great decision by my opponent, but we do go ahead and get the pick the following drive, and you guys can see. So we have 32 seconds and we have great field position, so we're gonna try to make it something happen. So I'm really thinking of a touchdown right here. Now this is slot cross, so this setup right here is going to beat man in zone coverage. So you want to put him on a zig and motion him across, and it's going to turn to a zig to the outside. And so you're making a read between X and square. Normally that's how I like to read that, because normally your user will follow that crosser. So you know, the users at this point playing Madden are just taught anytime they see a crosser route to follow it. So I love to make that high-low between X and square. So we went ahead and dumped it down, got our yards, got out of bounds. So right here, I noticed he did play zone, so I'm wanting to actually split the seam. So I'm looking at the right side. So I noticed that corner actually plays a hard flat. So I don't know what that was. It wasn't cover 2, so I think it was cover 3 cloud. Yeah, so it's cover 3 cloud. You could tell how the safety actually played it. Had that been a cover 2 with a deep half, we actually would have had a touchdown right there. But the cover 3, so great coverage by my opponent, because that's the only way that would even get covered. Now right here, I noticed when I flip my formation, players move. So normally that means it's man coverage. So what we're gonna actually do is actually motion them. And I noticed that nobody's out there on the outside, so we're gonna go ahead and take that. Now, I don't know. I think the only reason it does that is if he's doing something specific with his defense, like in the settings. I know it used to be a problem a while ago where, like I said a while ago, like this was like when Madden 22 first came out, this used to be a problem. But, yeah, so that's why I think he's doing some type of alignment, like aligning his corners by something that's actually causing him to actually, you know, get the little glitch. So that's what I think. But he doesn't want to fix it. Well, I think he fixed it here, so I'm not sure. But this is actually another setup, like I said, versus man coverage. We're going to make a read between X, square. We're going to read triangle late. But you can tell right there, square is going to get open because the user is going to have to be forced to make a decision. So anytime you have an offense where your user has to make a decision, you have a really great offense, honestly. So, and what's really cool is you guys can see he's playing 3-down lineman, so I could literally just be that guy and just literally run the ball every single play if I wanted to. But I just personally don't like playing like that. That's why a lot of times you guys see on my channel, I do a lot of shotgun schemes. You hardly ever see like single back, you know, schemes or something, unless like it's just a super meta formation, which the only single back scheme I may do is something like wing tight or something, you know. But I probably wouldn't even do gameplay on it, honestly. I probably would just take it to practice mode and tell you guys to try it out, because I don't know. I just don't like playing Madden that way, just running the ball under center, because for some reason it never works for me. I get all out man blitzed literally every single time. I never get a zone blitz whenever I face that kind of offense. But right here, I actually love this little setup too. But right there, unfortunately, we got to throw out a sack. But as you can tell, we had every single route on the field was able to beat man coverage, and that's why I love this formation, because it's going to have to make your opponent play excellent man coverage and switch it up between zone coverages if they want to have a chance at winning, because they cannot just sit in one particular play. So notice right here, circle. I notice how he's wide open, and I've seen his user fly out there. So now I'm making a read between triangle and square. but I decided to hit my X read. Now I could have had that slant, but I was looking at his user to see what he was doing, so I completely missed that read. And I'm just not used to, a lot of times this actually, I know this is the second time this happened with me playing somebody who their people switch, but it's actually really distracting because when you see him switch, you be like, ooh, touchdown, instant touchdown. So my eyes automatically take me to square. So right there, you can tell my eyes took me to square. I just didn't really think they'll give him the animation. I thought, you know, based on the positioning, I would be able to throw that ball all the way out of bounds. But, you know, that's where I also say too that you can't think about this game as real life, you know, because obviously real life, that's a completion. 10 out of 10 times that's a completion, you know, to the sideline. But in Madden terms, you just like you would have to know personally that you can't throw that, you know. So right here, you try to use your blitz me, and that's a really hard thing to do in this formation because we have the ability to block 6, and we can also block 7 if we wanted to. I believe, don't quote me, but we can. I believe you can motion snap. I haven't actually had to do it because I don't really see a need to motion snap, because if somebody wants to send 7 at you, then that means that you're going to have somebody wide open off the rip because of the formation alignment. So, yeah, we got first and goal, essentially, basically right here. So now we're going to try to make a read. Now, that was actually a terrible read. I mean, I was looking between triangle and X, and I don't know, I just whiffed, you know. I set it up exactly how I wanted to make a read on the high-low. So if the user took high, I would go low. But, you know, just trying to do too much, basically. So, yeah, thankfully right there, you see we actually did get the ball back. So, our opponent, you know, gave us the ball back. So now you can tell he has 3 turnovers. We have 1. So we're really playing a really great game. And we're still only up 7. So any points we get here is pretty much going to put the game away. So again, this is the setup I showed you guys in practice mode. You're going to be able to see it again, exactly why I like it. So you basically just want to read the user wherever the user takes you. So notice right, I tried to actually get outside the pocket, but I went to double team him, but they didn't double team. And that's one of the unfortunate things that happen on this game too, is sometimes you can double team somebody, but you know what's crazy? Like my opponent, they'll double team, get out the pocket all day. Like I could spread my line, quarterback attain, put a spy, and, you know, they can just back there and just run crazy. But you know, this is one of just the wild things on the game though. But we all know how wild this game is. But anyways, I really love this setup too because everything on the field, as you see, is gonna be able to toast man coverage and cover 2. So had his user not been down there, we would have had a 1-play touchdown. And one thing I didn't notice that I just noticed now is that my opponent was playing a really aggressive style of cover 2. And what I mean by aggressive is that he was playing at his flats on like 5 maybe, because we had everything open deep anytime he played cover 2, like on the sideline. I just never really read it. I normally, that's actually one of the hardest things for me to actually recognize, is when somebody's playing a cover 2 but actually playing a hard flat. I know that sounds crazy, but like I said right there, whatever he was doing with this defense, we're gonna go sticky on it one more time. But whatever he was doing with his defense, I'm not really sure what he had going on. But we will take it. But like I said, actually for me personally, one of the hardest coverages I go against is when people play man and then mix in like a cover 2 hard flat. I don't know why that gives me so much trouble, because it's like I never expect them to actually do that. Because you can tell right there, I actually had square open a long time ago, had R1, just wasn't really looking at it, and I just decided to throw the ball out. So I don't know why that is, because a lot of times people don't play, you know, hard flat cover 2. So it really gives me a headache sometimes now. Now if I diagnose it, like, oh, okay, he's playing a hard flat cover 2, then yeah, I can just, you know, boom, boom, boom. But sometimes I just get so caught up in being up here that I'm like, okay, he's gonna leave me the flats because, you know, it's man coverage, so I have my man reads. And, you know, that's why I said, like, I actually like playing games like this where it's actually like a mind game, you know. I love games like this. I hate games where people just want to run the ball game, you know. And also, he was actually throwing the ball, which I said this actually was a really fun game, because he actually was trying to throw the ball. You know, he wasn't just running the ball every play. Like, you know, he mixed in the run like as you're supposed to, but, you know, he made it really fun, honestly. But right here, you can tell 36 here, we kind of got ourselves in a bad situation here. So I'm kind of just trying to draw something out the dirt right here. So I'm thinking about making a read between X and circle, seeing what's going to happen, because I put that swing route to actually widen out those outside zones. So I'm looking at X and circle right here to see who's open. I didn't really see him, but oh no, this is the play I was telling you guys about. So if you go back and look, he actually played a hard flat, and I got it out of range. So remember I told you guys I threw that in practice mode? That's what I was telling you guys about, that I threw that the same specific play in practice mode. Now, you know, I seen I completed it, but I ended up throwing a pick in game, which is, I don't understand how that happened. But right here, actually, this is the last play of the game, 3 seconds. We are going to be able to hold him, man, and we are going to be able to secure the dub. So great game to my opponent, man. We did get the win, thankfully. So again, I just decided just to run just a random play here because the game's pretty much over. So that's gonna wrap it up for this video, though. I don't know if you guys want to see the victory run here. You know, why not? We'll watch the victory run. But yeah, man, I appreciate all you guys who check out my videos. Seriously, man, this late in Madden, I appreciate all you guys. But that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I do hope you guys have a blessed day. I'm Rage Real, and I'm out.